All right, so you wanted to know about the future of jobs, and we're diving into the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report to get you answers.
Yeah, this report, it's a big one. Always a lot to unpack.
So this is the stuff you need to know
Yeah,
to navigate this crazy job market.
exactly.
So how crazy are we talking? Paint me a picture.
Um, well, imagine. It's not just about a few jobs changing here and there. It's a complete transformation of how we work.
Okay, so no more slow and steady job market.
Right, exactly. Think roller coaster, not just a bumpy road.
Something like buckle up.
Yeah, buckle up. Because we're talking about things like global inflation hitting,
Okay.
like 8.8% in 2022, and the aftershocks of COVID, and oh yeah, geopolitical tensions.
Right, so not exactly the most stable environment for anyone, really, let alone job seekers.
Definitely not the time to sit back and relax.
So what can people do?
Honestly, the best thing is to be prepared. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. So amidst all this chaos, I'm guessing there are some glimmers of hope. The report doesn't just highlight the problems, does it?
No, no, not at all. I mean, it does highlight the challenges, for sure, but it also points to a wave of new possibilities emerging from this massive shift.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
Not even close.
What kind of new possibilities are we talking about?
Well, for one, the green transition is going to be huge.
Okay, everyone's going to be installing solar panels.
Haha, not everyone, maybe. But seriously, we're talking about millions of new jobs in renewable energy, sustainability, climate change mitigation. This is going to have a huge impact on the job market.
So green jobs of the future.
They're definitely a big part of it. To give you an idea of the scale, the report predicts that China alone will add 88 million new jobs in the green economy by 2030.
88 million. That's like more than the entire population of some countries.
Exactly, it's massive.
Okay, green jobs are booming. Got it. What else? I can't imagine a future of work conversation without talking about tech.
Of course not. Tech is going to continue to be a major driver of change. AI, big data, cloud computing. These aren't just buzzwords anymore. They're the engines driving change in almost every industry.
So it's safe to say you need more than just basic computer skills to thrive in this environment.
Oh, absolutely. The report found that something like 75% of companies are planning to adopt AI, big data, and cloud computing in the next 5 years.
75%. That's huge.
It is huge. And it's not just for the IT department anymore. This is impacting every single industry.
So those who haven't brushed up on their tech skills might be in for a rude awakening.
It's never too late to start learning.
True enough.
Yeah.
But there's more to this story than just green jobs in tech, right?
Yeah.
What other major trends does the report highlight?
Well, one of the biggest is this idea of structural churn.
Structural churn. That doesn't sound particularly pleasant.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a big thing. Basically, it means that the job market is going to be in a state of constant flux.
So how should people be thinking about that?
I think the key is to be adaptable and to be prepared for anything.
Which is easy to say, but maybe a little harder to actually do.
True. But the report gives us some clues about what to expect. It predicts that 23% of jobs will be disrupted in the next 5 years.
23%. So almost a quarter of all jobs are going to be changing in some way.
Yes. Some jobs will disappear entirely. New ones will be created that we haven't even thought of yet. And people will be switching roles at a pace we haven't seen before.
So while there are tons of new opportunities emerging, it's not all sunshine and roses.
Not exactly.
What does all this structural churn mean for people who might be in professions that are about to be disrupted? Should they be hitting the panic button?
I don't think panic is ever the answer. Remember, this report isn't about fear-mongering. It's about giving you a heads up so you can start making decisions today that will benefit you in the future.
So knowledge is power.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it. All right, so we've established that the job market of tomorrow is going to look vastly different. But just knowing that things are changing isn't really enough, is it?
Definitely not.
We need specifics. We need to know what to expect.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners who might be thinking about making a change, or for those who just want to be prepared, let's get into it. What are some of the jobs that are predicted to be in high demand in this brave new world?
Well, if you're good with algorithms, you're in luck.
Okay, so coding is still king?
It's definitely a valuable skill to have. The report puts AI and machine learning specialists at the top of the list.
Makes sense.
These are the folks who are going to be shaping the future of, well, everything.
The architects of the future?
Yeah, I like that.
But it's not all about tech wizards, right? there are other fields that are expected to see growth too.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we were just talking about the green transition.
But
That's going to create a huge demand for all sorts of jobs. Sustainability experts, environmental engineers, renewable energy technicians, you name it.
so those are pretty safe bets.
If you're looking for a growing field, yeah, those are good ones to be in.
Okay, so we've got the tech side of things, and we've got the green jobs. What else?
Well, this one might surprise you.
Oh, I love surprises.
Truck drivers.
Truck drivers. Really? I would have thought that was a job that was on the way out.
You'd think so, right? With self-driving cars and all that.
Exactly.
But the report actually forecasts significant growth for heavy truck and bus drivers.
Interesting. So someone still needs to drive those 18-wheelers.
For now, at least, it seems like logistics and transportation are still areas where human skills are really important.
That's reassuring, in a way, that human expertise is still valued, even amidst all this talk of automation.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom for human workers.
Okay, so we've talked about the winners. What about the other side of the coin? Which jobs are predicted to decline?
Well, the jobs that are most at risk are those that involve a lot of repetitive tasks.
So factory work, things like that.
Some types of factory work, yes. Also data entry, some administrative and clerical roles.
The kinds of jobs that can be easily automated.
Exactly.
That makes sense. So what does this all mean for someone who's, say, in their 20s or 30s right now? Are there any safe bets anymore? Or is it just a matter of constantly adapting and learning new skills?
I think it's a combination of both. There are definitely some fields that are going to be more in demand than others, but I think the most important thing is to be adaptable and to be a lifelong learner.
Lifelong learning. It's something people talk about a lot these days.
And not just talk, it's the reality.
So how does someone even begin to do that? I mean, where do you even start?
Well, I think it starts with identifying your strengths and passions.
Okay.
What are you naturally good at? What do you enjoy doing?
And then?
And then you look for ways to align those things with the skills that are going to be in demand in the future.
So if you're passionate about something that's not in demand, you're out of luck.
Not necessarily. You might have to get creative. But I think there's always a way to find a niche, something that combines your interest with your skills.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've talked about the importance of acquiring new skills, but the report also talks about something called the skills gap. What exactly does that mean?
The skills gap refers to the fact that employers are having a hard time finding people with the skills they need.
Even though there are plenty of people looking for jobs.
Even though unemployment is relatively low, yes.
So what's the disconnect?
I think it's a combination of factors. For one thing, the skills that are in demand are changing so rapidly that it's difficult for educational institutions to keep up.
Right, so it's not like you could just go to college, get a degree, and be set for life anymore.
No, not at all. You need to be constantly learning and updating your skills.
And it's not just about technical skills either, is it?
No, it's not. The report also emphasizes the importance of soft skills.
Soft skills.
Things like communication, problem solving, teamwork.
The kinds of things that are hard to automate.
Exactly.
So how do you even teach those skills?
That's a good question. It's not as straightforward as teaching someone to code, for example.
Right.
But I think it starts with recognizing their importance and then finding ways to incorporate them into the curriculum at all levels of education.
So from elementary school all the way up to like professional development courses.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's a big task.
It is a big task, but it's an important one.
Absolutely. So we've talked about the skills gap. We've talked about the importance of lifelong learning. And we've talked about some of the specific jobs that are going to be in high demand in the future. What else? What other insights does the report offer? So it sounds like it's not just about what you know, but how you adapt, how you learn.
Exactly. This isn't a one-and-done situation. The job market is going to keep changing, and we need to be ready to change with it.
Adapt or die, right?
I wouldn't say die, but definitely adapt or get left behind.
That's fair. So what does that look like in practice? How can people cultivate that adaptability?
Well, I think it starts with mindset. You have to be open to new things, willing to learn new skills, even if they're outside of your comfort zone.
So it's not just about the skills themselves, it's about the willingness to acquire them.
Exactly. And it's about being proactive. Don't wait for someone to tell you what skills you need. Go out there and find out for yourself.
Okay, so how do you do that?
Well, one way is to talk to people who are actually doing the jobs you're interested in.
You mean like informational interviews?
Exactly. Ask them what skills they use on a daily basis. Ask them what they wish they had learned earlier. You'd be surprised how many people are willing to share their experiences.
That's a great tip. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. If you had to distill it down to one key takeaway, what would it be?
That's a tough one. Um, I think I'd say the future of work belongs to those who are willing to learn, those who are adaptable, and those who are proactive.
I like it. So to sum up, the job market is changing, it's going to continue to change, and the best way to prepare is to be adaptable, to embrace lifelong learning,
Yeah.
and to be proactive in shaping your own career destiny.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This has been a fascinating deep dive into the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report. We hope this conversation has given you some things to think about as you navigate your own career journey.
I hope so too.
That's all for this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep exploring. We'll see you in the future.